In this video, I'm going to show you how to work with PDF files and scanned images in the AGT Deed-Reader. So here I've loaded a PDF file of a rather messy deed. Now surprisingly, even with all of this clutter, the program will process this just fine. I'm going to use it anyway to show you how to clean it up in case you run into issues like this. First of all, when you click Process All up here in the corner or Extract Text over here, the page is sent to AI for processing. When it gets it, it does two things. First, it tries to extract all of the text on the page, and then it looks through all that text and tries to find just the portion that pertains to the meets and bounds land description. We can make that job easier and more reliable by eliminating some of this extra stuff. To do that, we'll use the built-in image editor. You can use this with both PDF files and regular image files. When you edit the page of a PDF file, that page is first converted to an image so it can be edited. From then on, it's stored internally as an image file. And note that any changes that you make here only apply to the images that you've loaded into the drawing. The original image or PDF file are never altered. So let's click the Edit button to open the image editor. There are a couple of tools we can use here. First, I'll zoom in, and I'm just using the mouse wheel to do that. And then I'm going to click on the Eraser tool. And now I can use the mouse to rub out portions of the page. If I want to make the eraser larger, I can do that by selecting the Settings menu and then make it larger. This is great for small areas, but it's a little tedious for this one. So next, I'll select the Erase Rectangle tool. And now I can erase much larger portions by simply dragging a rectangle around them. But for this example, there's an even better tool, and that's the Crop tool. The area that we need to plot our deed is really only this portion here. That's where the actual meets and bounds portion is. So I'll start the crop command and then drag a rectangle around the area that we want to keep. And when I let go, the rest is discarded. Very, very useful. Now let's click the Save button and save it back to Deed-Reader. And now I will send it to AI to see how it does with it. And note that I'm using this button over here called Extract Text. This button processes items on this panel only. When AI is finished, its results are placed in this next panel. The confidence score you see here is actually from the AI. It's telling us how well it thinks it did. I should note that even if this isn't 100%, that doesn't mean that there are errors. You can have a confidence score of 90% and still have an accurate transcription. It's just a measure of how confident the AI is that it got it right. So now that we have the text, we need to do the final processing. And again, I will do this with this button in the upper right. And there's our plot. Notice that we are now in the AI results panel, and if we need to, we can make changes here and again click in the upper right corner to reprocess them. If everything is correct up to this point but the plot is still incorrect, it might be that the deed itself has a problem in it. If necessary, you can double click a leg in the grid and make corrections. But this video is about editing images, so let's get back to that. Back in the image editor, I've shown you the crop and the erase commands. Now suppose you have a deed where the document was put in the scanner upside down. This happens more than you might expect. The solution is simple. Use these rotate buttons to rotate it back to the correct orientation. Once I received a deed from a customer where he took a picture of it with his cell phone and the image was reversed. With the flip horizontal or flip vertical commands, you can flip it back to the correct orientation. If you get a deed that was scanned from a negative or the background is reversed, you can use this button to invert the colors back to normal. Next is the Deskew tool. If the document was not placed squarely in the scanner, you might end up with text that's skewed a bit. Use Deskew to try to straighten it out. A word of warning, the Deskew tool can sometimes make things worse, and that's what this message is telling us. If it does make things worse, then click Undo to undo it. Next is the Sharpen command. And like the Deskew tool, it can sometimes make things better, but it can also make things worse. So use these two tools with care, and only as a last resort. And finally, we have the Grayscale tool, and it simply converts a color image to grayscale, which is often easier for AI to process. So that's an overview of the image editor in the Deed-Reader. We're almost done, but there are a couple of other items back in the main program that I want to quickly cover. Here I've loaded a PDF that has 4 pages. Only the first page contains the legal description. The rest are just signature pages. Or in some cases, the extra pages might contain descriptions for additional parcels. Remember that you can only process a single parcel at a time. So if additional parcels are present, they must be removed before processing. For either of these cases, just right-click and then delete the unwanted page. Suppose you have a description that spans several pages, but the pages are out of order. Again, right-click and then use the options here to put them in the correct order. So to recap what we've covered here, you have many tools available to help you clean up and prepare PDF files and scanned images for processing. The crop tool is probably the most useful since it quickly lets you isolate just the portion of the document that needs to be processed. The right-click menu also contains useful commands for deleting and reordering pages.